Hello and welcome to Real Talk Tonight. I will be your host for this evening, Henry Patriquin. Tonight, we are interviewing two gentlemen from the PSA Listo Calisto, which is an organization based in Toronto that works in representing Latin people in media, correct?
Yeah.
And this is our producer slash co-director, Wagner, Carrera, and Carrera, and our DP, Nicolas. Okay.
Villarreal.
Yes, exactly. That's what I said, actually. Okay, fellas. Could you start off by please telling us a bit about this organization and maybe follow that up with a little bit about what we see in your beautiful PSA?
Yeah, I mean, well, as you mentioned, Listo Calisto is a non-profit organization that supports the Latin Canadian community into the entertainment industry. It also covers the podcast production, video game production, as well as film production. Mm-hmm. And we could say that it's a very recent organization. They have been up only like 2 years, mainly doing like some workshops, forums for the community to have like those network events to keep growing the community.
Yeah, their idea is mostly like there's so many Latin artists, so many Latin filmmakers, so many Latin composers, so many like Latin people working in media in Toronto, but we don't know each other, right? Mm-hmm. So like the strength of people comes from having a community, having a space together. So that's what they're trying to do. It's not necessarily like it's to create representation, but allowing us to have a space together so we can grow.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. That's very nice.
Yeah.
And could you tell us a bit about because you mentioned they work with like podcasts, video games, film, and we see this visually represented in the PSA. Mm-hmm. Could you talk a little bit about maybe like the loose storylines, so not that there's a storyline, but what we see in the PSA?
I mean, yeah, so like basically what we want to show on the PSA, it's not only the final results that we sometimes just see on media, but like who's behind the camera, who are like the people, part of this community, supporting and producing this kind of content.
Yeah, kind of like I always found very interesting this idea of you never get to see what's happening behind the curtains. So we wanted to show that, you know, not only show the set, but showing what's around it, who's the people working on it, the directors, the actors, and kind of showing this beautiful mix that we can have sometimes of these like multicultural sets, mm-hmm. where it's like you have Colombians and Canadians and Brazilians and Ecuadorians, and they're all working together because it's beyond culture. It's a matter of creating something that's great and the people enjoy. It's not necessarily about like us or them, mm-hmm. kind of thing.
And that's perfect. I actually wanted to get into that next. So this is clearly a very culture-driven PSA and a culture that you guys are familiar with. And shout out. And but not everyone, of course, on the crew and everyone that worked on it was from this culture. So what was that experience like? Working with people who don't know as much about the space sort of thing.
You don't have to be from a specific culture to enjoy it, you know? Like you can grab sushi and not be from Japan. You can like...
That's true.
Yeah, and you can like, we all do it in this manner, very colloquially, but for some reason with Latin culture, we're like put on a side, I feel sometimes. So when we started doing the project, my idea was I wanted to work with people that were open-minded to I want to learn from this. And I wanted to bring as much information, as many resources from back home as I could. And it was very funny because we during production we went on Christmas break, so I was able to go back home and to text people pictures and videos of everything back there and to be like, this is how it's supposed to look like, it's supposed to feel like. Mm-hmm. And then also, since there's not enough Latin people in third year, we got in contact with all the second years to come and be like our like small consultants of everything. Yeah. And I think it worked out great because everybody had this clear vision of we're working for the project. It doesn't matter what your background is. It's that you attempt to do something that's great and visually like good looking, you know. And I think like everybody, especially like the director, the art people, everybody was like very open-minded to the ideas and the cultural background of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, and of course, like we try to have like as much as Latin individuals part of the project, but it wasn't always about that. Like we had like a lot of creatives and like key crew members being outside of like the community. So I think that for whoever who was like part of the community, it was also very special on like that sharing of the culture.
Yeah.
So we were always being like trying to talk with the art department about like, hey, so let me tell you, like back home, houses are like this. We do this because this is what happens. Like there's of course like that difference that I feel that, and as Wagner is saying, it's not about like our culture. I feel that we are always sharing with other people from different cultures the idea and the desire of wanting for other people to learn and to know more about us. And I feel that was also like the success. I like to think that like us sharing what music is like, what we talk about, and I feel that I would love this project to have like big success on like TV, let's say, of like good impact in the community. But for me, the success of this PSA is to go to a bar and see Justin dancing to Bad Bunny.
Yeah. And
Justin, the Irish co-director you're talking about.
Justin Egan Costello, Keoughan. No, we tried to make it this immersive thing. So we would have like these like long art meetings, and the entire time would be like discussing on the history of one chair. And we'd be like, well, this chair is important because that's the chair my uncle used to like drink beer in when he was like 25, and that's the chair I used to sleep in during my aunt's wedding and stuff like that. And then the entire time it was beyond everything that was happening on set. My goal was really to like try and make people enjoy this as much as I do. You know, like I always think of producing in a way of like you're planning a party kind of thing, where it's like you're getting people together and you're gonna have a meal and you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. So it was just I really want people to get this like experience and this like tiny piece of land that it's so far from us, but at the same time it's here with the right people, you know. And that's also why like the concept of the PSA we included the house, you know, like we're gonna build a house because it's so iconic to see in a way, and at the same time it's something that we can develop here in Canada. The club scene is very similar, you know. It's all of these like spaces that we do have, and trying to recreate them here in Toronto to connect both ideas of Latin artists here in Canada. Yeah.
We did a killer job. That's another thing I wanted to talk a bit about. There's many different locations. It was a 2-day shoot, but there's more than 2 locations, built sets. It's pretty wild. So what was that like acquiring, like, say, the bar? Well, first of all, you had the bar, and then you had
a live band, a live salsa band, which is almost an orchestra because it's like 8 people. We were gonna get a 10 people one, but we figured that's too much. Then we have 25 professional dancers, and then we have 15 to 20 other extras plus the crew members. It's a lot of money laundering. I think everything came in place from this idea of we want to make something grandiose, you know? Like I was looking a lot of, when writing it, I described a lot of things of like, it's like a Renaissance painting because you see so many things on screen. And you see these like big compositions of people. And the only way we were able to do it was like through the support of the community. Because a lot of the things that happen on screen, rather they were people who were doing it for free, or they were doing it on a very small rate. And all of them were saying to us like, it's because we think it's a good thing you're trying to do. You're actually trying to put us out. You're trying to put our faces on screen and representing like everybody. You know, the people who came here 25 years ago to the people here who were like their grandparents are Colombian and they don't really speak Spanish. You know, so everybody was really happy to do it. And then also it was a really interesting experience on set because a lot of them they are non-film people. So not only the idea of we're gonna participate in a Latin project, but also just we're gonna participate in a film. So I remember there was this one day that we were shooting an actor, and it was just a close-up of him grabbing a cup. And I looked at them shooting it, and then I looked back, and it was all the 25 extras, all with their cell phones out, just like recording that one pickup shot. We also had our AD, and he would be screaming on set, and he would be like yelling, like, yeah, no, okay, cut. And then no one would understand him because none of them are film people. So we were like, cut, and everybody stayed dancing. But it was great, and also like everybody was like so willing to collaborate. The band was amazing, and also like it was in our own way our little treat of like we go to Rancho to dance sometimes. We're like we wanna rent this place, and we rented it, and then we had the band. And I remember the first thing I did when they set up, I went in there, I was like, okay, now you're gonna play this song, and 1, 2, 3, and they started playing as we were setting up the cameras.
No way.
Yeah. So it was very fun. I really think this idea of whatever happens to the film, that's great. but people have to enjoy their time on set. Because if you enjoy your time on set, whether you're making a lot of money or not making so much money, or like it's a shitty film or a good film, you just go away with this feeling of like, that was good, I would do it again, you know? And I really want people to go home with that feeling sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
I feel that in the best way possible that we can describe it, it was a very selfish project on us just wanting to do what we like and everything. And I remember just like in the first like moments of the developing of the story, I was always telling Wagner, and bro, we need to like film in a club, and we're going to have a party scene, and people are going to dance, and we're going to have like a bunch of extras. And Wagner was like, no, Nick, like how are we going to get like extras? How are we going to get a bar? And I feel that the PSA was also like a good result of an example of the community. And thanks to the community, like this PSA was done, because it was we always had the idea about like, okay, let's have a band, and like, where are we going to get a band?
How are you gonna get a band for free? And also
So-
like such a big band to come and play like pro bono on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And it ended up being like the easiest thing. Like it would be like just reaching out to people. Do you know some band? And like I called a bunch of bands. They were all like very interested. Of course, we ended up going like with the best option that we thought that was part of the process. It was always this idea of like, as a personal experience, we would love to just have a film set of everyone dancing, listening to live music, enjoying, and I felt that was like
Yeah,
amazing.
and even given the good food, like at some point I felt like I
Yeah.
was in a wedding. Like, yeah, it was so weird. And then also everybody who went in there, because there is this, just the fact that we all have this like bilingual experience of things, it just changes it. Like people were treating me as if I was their cousin, you know, like like I showed up on my suit and jacket and I'm giving my speech about whatever, but then I'm serving the food to them and they're just like talking to me as I'm their nephew,
Yeah.
you know, and that was like so interesting. And then I saw that the same way they were treating me, they were treating other crew members, and everybody was just like trying to have this very homey like a tight-knit experience on set, which I thought was very cool.
Yeah.
It was definitely like a good experience with everyone and all the organizations. There's like a fun anecdote about us not like in pre-productions like struggling to find like a location, right? Looking different places, and then we finally got like a response from the club that we ended up like using as the location, which is El Rancho. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Marcelo.
Shout out to Rancho. They have the best reggaeton DJ in Toronto,
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
opinion.
And it was like Wagner just out of nowhere, like, okay, bro, we need to go tomorrow to scout the location.
It wasn't even tomorrow. It was like on the same day. Like I got the call from the guy. I was like, "Yeah, we're going tonight." And then it was the same day we were building the house set. So we were like with all of the Latin friends, and we were like, "Do you want to go tonight to this one club?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." So then we went in there, and we were scouting the place, and the owner was like, "Okay, yeah, guys, that's cool, whatever. Do you want shots or do you want beers?"
Yeah, and I just look at Wagner like, and we're like, no, I mean we're like we're working, right? We don't want this to have like go to like a different area.
And
then
he said like, no, it's fine. Give me like 4 tequila shots and one of aguardiente. And we started drinking with the owner. And then he was like, you're invited, just please stay the night. And we all drank with him and danced the entire night. And it was great. It was beautiful. And then turns out like, I didn't know it, but historically Rancho is the oldest Latin club in Toronto. So it was one of the first places to like do salsa events and salsa performances here since the 1970s. And turns out the owner is from the same city as I am.
No way.
So that's also why he was like so welcoming us
He
on.
wanted you to party.
He wanted, yeah. I invited him. I was like, if you go back to Quito, like shout out to my mom, come visit me.
That's my mom.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, guys. I think that's it for time. But is there any last things you would like to say?
And maybe something that it is important to like be clear about, like Listo Calisto is not like a Latin organization.
No,
it's a Latin Canadian
organization.
organization, and that's exactly what the project was.
Empanadas with maple syrup. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
Ask about the cake.
About the cake?
There was a missing cake on set. Because I
Where'd the
bought
cake go?
I bought a cake for a crew member that had their birthday on set.
Who was it?
The crew member?
Yeah.
It was Miggy. It was Miggy's birthday upcoming, and then also Haley's. And then we put the cake on the side, and we were like moving it up and down because I was trying to bring it in like after we wrapped, but then people started leaving, so I put it down and then up and then down. And then at some point where we were wrapping, the cake disappeared. And the funny thing is like not only the cake disappeared, but also like a couple like makeup palettes as well.
No.
But since we had like 50 people on set plus crew members were like, what can you do?
So you never found the cake?
No, we never found the cake. And also,
You didn't look in Justin's bag once?
wait, it was in the U-Haul the entire time. No, and then it just disappeared. But also because again, it was so many people and no one could greet them out, so no one was able to check.
Wow.
Thankfully, it was a cake. Imagine someone took a lens.
Yeah,
That's also a
true.
possibility.
Yeah, $35,000.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much for watching Real Talk tonight, and keep your eyes peeled for the Listo Calisto PSA. Thank you very much and good night.
I love the accent.